Understanding AI at work is all the rage, but here's the thing. Don't get caught up in all the different tools. The first thing you need to do is have a plan and build out your AI strategic roadmap. Now, coming up at our special event, you can join me. My name is Matt Kesby, Chief AI Officer at Multiply Tech and GoTeam. We have over 1,000 employees in our organizations, and we're applying AI every day at work, but we don't do it by chance. We've got a very sound AI strategic roadmap plan. I'm going to teach you all about it. You'll learn about the core building blocks and terminology, and I'm going to make it super simple for you. You'll learn about how you can actually build out the roadmap, but also the change management process and how to run these little mini sprints to implement the work in your organization. I will also share with you the tools that we're using that are making all the difference, and also you're going to learn about the key roles and how they're changing in AI. One in particular is a flow engineer. To learn more, come join us at the next event, either on Zoom, live on YouTube or LinkedIn. Join us at our YouTube channel, AI Powered People, or find me, Matt Kesby, over on LinkedIn. I'll see you at the AI Strategic Roadmap session. Oh, there are 4 new positions in every organization, but most people are not talking about them. The first one is the Chief AI Officer. It's usually missing at this point in time. Does not need to be someone with machine learning background or artificial intelligence experience. It's someone who's going to understand and look for where the opportunities are in your organization to apply AI. There are 3 other positions as well, which I'm going to share all about them at our AI Strategic Roadmap session. You can join me, Matt Kesby, Chief AI Officer at GoTeam and Multiply Tech. I'll take you right through the process. I'll simplify it down. You can join us on Zoom or live on YouTube at AI Powered People, or over on LinkedIn. You can find me, Matt Kesby, on LinkedIn. Let's connect and I'll take you through how to demystify this whole process and get you winning at work with AI. Check out the details below. I'll see you there. AI is changing the law of physics at work. When it comes to productivity, we're often told that you only get 2 sides of this triangle: time, quality, or cost. But with AI, we now get all 3. Now, if you'd like to learn how to apply AI at work, but do it better than anyone else by starting with an AI strategic roadmap, come join me, Matt Kesby, Chief AI Officer at Multiply Tech and GoTeam, and we have a live event for you. You can join us on Zoom, or you can join us on YouTube at our YouTube channel at AI Powered People, or on LinkedIn. Just find and follow me on LinkedIn and we'll share all the details with you. All the details are also below, so click on the link and I'll see you at the AI Strategic Roadmap, and you can learn how to apply AI at work and start smashing these laws of physics when it comes to productivity and delivery results. Well, you either love or fear AI. It's one bucket or the other. A lot of people fear it at the moment, which is just the fear of the unknown. So let's demystify AI. Let's understand how to apply it at work, how to upskill along the factors of AI.
And welcome to our AI Strategic Roadmap session. My name's Matt Kesby. I'll be your guide today. Hey, where is everyone? Just open up the chat there.
Roadmap. So your whole organization
you're dialing in
understand the direction
for today. City that you're in, and I'll get the chat up on the screen here. I'm in Cebu in the Philippines in our Better Together studio, which is where we share all our latest updates on what's happening with AI and technology. And so very big thank you to those that are joining us either from the GoTeam clients or Multiply Tech clients. We're certainly bringing both of those organizations together. In fact, I'll be sharing with you both from GoTeam, our people business, as well as Multiply Tech, our AI technology companies. So we got so far Bali and Auckland and Melbourne, Saigon and Philippines and Australia, and fantastic. Let's jump into it. Now, today's session, it's really important to set the stage here that this is a session for business leaders. It's not a technical session for AI and machine learning experts, unless you're also a business leader and you want to understand how to communicate around AI more effectively. Because it's certainly been the space that's been, beholden to the really technical roles for quite some time. But now AI is essentially becoming democratized and available for all of us to enjoy. And so this session is to understand it. Hello in LA as well from Nina, fantastic. One thing that I want for you is for you to be prepared. You know, the good old Boy Scout motto, and that's about being prepared in both mind and body. And with all the changes that are coming, I think it's important to be prepared both mentally as we hit these fast moving change, but also physically as in our ability to to work with AI and actually get it implemented at work, because things are changing really rapidly. In fact, it was only recently that Klarna, a global fintech, came out and said that they are reducing jobs by 700 positions due to AI being able to replace those jobs. And in that moment is often where there can be a real fear response. And we like to look at this as we can either approach these things from fear or love when it comes to these changes that occur. And it's natural when we see headlines like this that people will have fear. And things are moving so fast. Like if you've ever heard of the concept of Moore's law, which tells us that essentially processing power will double every 2 years. The reality is Moore's law has become obsolete. Moore's law is this line here as our computing power continues to increase. But now with AI and machine learning, this is almost vertical. It's a 10x improvement every year. So this line's going to get faster and faster. And so whether we're aware of this or not, this change is coming, and the speed of change is only going to get more rapid each month as we move forward. So it's critical not to get left behind. In fact, the global impact that's occurring right now and going to occur even faster as this year progresses, the World Economic Forum business leaders got together earlier this year in February, and the forecast is that AI will have a 40 to 60% disruption on the global workforce. Now, the 60% is in white-collar first world roles. That's where the biggest disruption is going to occur. And we will actually move and evolve from leading people or leading just people to actually leading people and AI. Now, it's in this moment that it's natural for people to say, will I lose my job? And the reality is that AI won't take your jobs, but AI-powered people will take out those that do not embrace AI. That's the reality of what's happening right now. Now, it's not the first time this type of event has occurred in our history as human beings. So, for example, if you see these two pictures here, there's two farmers, Farmer A and Farmer B. Who's going to win this race? Just put an A or a B in the chat. What are your thoughts? Who's going to win this race here? A or B? Farmer A or B? B. It's pretty easy. Now, what's the difference fundamentally between these two farmers? What are your thoughts? What's the difference at a very basic level? Tools. Well done. Technology. Fantastic. Yeah, it's the tools or technology. Technology is a tool. And it reminds me of this great video that I saw some time ago from Steve Jobs talking about essentially us as humans and the way we use tools. Let's enjoy this one.
I remember reading an article when I was about 12 years old, I think it might have been in Scientific American, where they measured the efficiency of locomotion for all these species on planet Earth. How many kilocalories did they expend to get from point A to point B? And the condor won, came in at the top of the list, surpassed everything else. And humans came in about a third of the way down the list, which was not such a great showing for the crown of creation. And but somebody there had the imagination to test the efficiency of a human riding a bicycle. Human riding a bicycle blew away the condor, all the way off the top of the list. And it made a really big impression on me that we humans are tool builders, and that we can fashion tools that amplify these inherent abilities that we have to spectacular magnitudes. And so for me, a computer has always been a bicycle of the mind. Something that takes us far beyond our inherent abilities. And I think we're just at the early stages of this tool, very early stages. And we've come only a very short distance. And it's still in its formation, but already we've seen enormous changes. I think that's nothing compared to what's coming in the next 100 years.
I think that's nothing compared to what's coming. Exactly right. Thank you, Steve Jobs. The AI is a tool, just like that reference there. The computer is a tool. Now we're moving to the next evolutionary step, or even revolutionary, where AI is a tool. Now, what is this new tool set and how will you use it is a really important question. And so if we look at Ezio's saying, where would he be if still alive? Imagine the impact. Yeah, indeed. The AI as a tool set itself, with all this rapid change going on, there's something that's interesting. Some things won't change. And I'm going to share with you a bit of an analogy right now for those that are in business. Naturally, you're in business if you're here. And I often like to think of business and getting the results that we're after. It's a little bit like a garden hose, in a sense that if we have a tap and we've got a garden hose, and our game here is to fill up this bucket. Essentially, every drop of water that comes out, think of it like our clients. We're cherishing every lead that comes in, cherishing every client that comes through, and they need to progress through our process of business to ultimately get what they're after, which is value and some form of results that they desire to get from an organization. The reality is most organizations, none of us have a perfect organization. They're perfectly imperfect. And so with that, we often find that maybe there's a little hole or gap here, and there's maybe a little bit of a leak. And before you know it, we've got a few different parts of our processes or systems, or what we're intending to deliver, are actually leaking out. Put a 1 in the chat if that sounds familiar, this type of analogy, especially as you turn up the pressure of the water, that we'll see actually more little bits and pieces dropping out. And during that, what we tend to do is go, oh, quick, we need to go and fix this part and then fix the next bit. And we find ourselves feeling like we're constantly running backwards and forwards, fixing and trying to plug these holes. And so in business, if we looked at just the real basics, we could say, well, we all end up having marketing as like a function within a business, and we have sales, and we have our product or service delivery, and you might put customer service, and you could put IT and finance and HR and so forth. And every business is different as you get down into the details of it, but we've got these similar functions that need to be applied. Now, with this, it will give us the ability to look at our business just like it is that garden hose, and look for where are the challenges or the issues that we're currently facing. And then the big question, I will say, is how will we apply AI in each of these sections here to help plug those holes or rework them or re-engineer them, reinvent them, to give us the ability to have this flow come faster and faster, more productively, with less effort, more joy. Who would like to have that in their organizations? Put a Y in the chat, more effort, more joy, greater flow all the way through, and having more. I love that, Christine. Thank you, with the exclamation marks. This is the game, okay? How do we start to apply AI at work and do it in a strategic way? Not in a haphazard way where we're jumping backwards and forwards, but let's get ourselves a clear plan at each of these different sections of our businesses, and then systematically start to execute through and deliver upon that plan. So our agenda today is going to cover 3 key things. First will be the AI foundation for business leaders. So we're going to get some terminology, some understanding, but I'm also going to share with you some insights so that you can see what is possible with AI. So then later on, when you get to a planning stage, it's going to make more sense. You'll have more ideas. The second area, I'll take you through the framework around plan and implement. This is the AI strategic roadmap part. And then the third section is our 4 new AI roles in business and how things have changed when it comes to building an AI team. It's very different from 3 years ago. It's way more accessible. However, these are new skills. We're going to talk about how do you actually get people skilled up. Anne's asking, is the session recorded? Absolutely. And some great news. If you enjoy what you're seeing today, you can bring others from your organization back next week at exactly the same time, where we'll be covering the topic again. I bet that even coming back next week, you'll hear things, see things differently than just what you see in the first session. Now, who am I? My name is Matt Kesby. Some of you know me. I'm the founder and chief AI officer at GoTeam and Multiply Tech. At GoTeam, we employ over 1,000 people in the Philippines, helping clients all around the world by building their AI-powered people offshore teams. And at Multiply Tech, we build the AI technology to help support GoTeam and our clients around the world, so you can really leverage up your game and multiply your results with AI. Also, by way of background, we also have a fintech in Australia, a prop tech company. It's a multi-award-winning prop tech business that processes, well, this year we'll do close to $2 billion in transactions this year. So it's quite a serious piece of technology. I mainly just share that we do a lot in the security space, a lot in automation and AI and in different industries as well. My background, however, I've spent over a decade in the change management space, heading up the strategy execution practice for Franklin Covey across Australia and New Zealand. And Franklin Covey are global leaders in leadership development. And this sort of nexus of these points of technology and people and change, people and technology coming together, are really useful to understand as we shift through this next step change in what's happening globally around AI, is to understand there's a very human part to this as well. Now, from that human perspective, we are always in a time of change going to experience this concept of either fear or love. Whenever there's ambiguity, our primitive portion of our brain will go to ambiguity. And with that comes fear. Now, we fear what we don't know or what we don't understand. It's such a normal situation for our brain to go through. But there's no need to fear these things now when there's so much information available to us. But I could also say there is so much information available to us. And so our role here is to help you be a guide through this time so that you can get the useful information, apply it and get results, and then build that confidence as you do so. Now, with this, I think it's really important to engage our team early in the process of utilizing AI, because it's easy for it not to be used or to fear it and then just turn away. I'm a big believer in this concept of the Gandhi paradox, which is nothing you do as an individual matters, but it's vitally important that you do it anyway. And as leaders, it's up to us to get hands-on and apply the technology, experience it, so that we can then share it with others and give them the confidence of going, my leader could do it, then so could I. And you'll find that the conversations and your expansion and the usage of AI will dramatically increase and improve the moment that you jump on and get hands-on with it as well. And we've got plenty of ways to help you on that. So if you stay all the way through to the end, I'll show you how we can further help you in your AI journey. So let's get into the agenda, AI Foundation for business leaders. Now, this fear or love moment, I'm going to share our AI journey, the AI journey over at Go Team, to be more specific. Back in 2020, in the height of COVID, we had a particular challenge where, from a security perspective, everyone went to work from home. It's a really interesting moment. And our clients around the world would say, well, is the data on our screens protected? And in that moment, it's like, well, if you're in the office, it's protected because you come through security and there's control points. But once everyone goes home, wherever you are in the world, in whatever organization, the moment that that data can be seen on the screen, you have a weak point in your security. So we actually built a system called Visual Access AI, which checks twice per second if every 2 seconds now, the person sitting behind the machine is the authorized user. And if not, it throws up a lock screen, just like you have on your mobile phone. And to unlock it, you just look at the screen and it unlocks. All that data is very private. It all happens with a local machine learning model that sits on the machines. It's a vision model. And that brings security and protection. Now, fast forward to 2023, and generative AI comes out with ChatGPT. In fact, it was November 2022. It was January 2023. I know personally was my exposure to it for the first time, and I had my fear moment. I had my, oh crap, have I missed the boat here? Have I missed this race? And is this going to dramatically impact people losing jobs? And it was in that moment that we went, well, you can either get stuck in the fear bucket, or you can move to love, which is to become inquisitive and find new ways and embrace the change. And so we stepped straight into the love bucket and started building out the technology and training team members to help support them. And at Go Team, we even have repositioned ourselves there to AI-powered people. The natural understanding is that is where the world is going. So it's time to become specialists in AI. And I'm going to share with you some of the products that we've been building, and so you can see what's possible with AI. Now, why now? Why should we be looking at AI now versus waiting 6 months or 12 months? Well, the reality is, in business, it's always been about delivering results. And ChatGPT really opened up our minds to what's possible with how we can interact with AI. Because in particular, generative AI, which is the model behind ChatGPT, ChatGPT is really just the chat interface that gave us this new way to be able to engage with AI. And Dr. Andrew Ng has shared, he's the founder of Deep Learning AI and Coursera. He shared this statement, which I believe rings really true. I paraphrase it. AI will be as required as electricity to run our businesses in the very near future. And think of it right now. If you had no electricity, could you run your business? How fast would things stop with no electricity when it comes to your business? We're going to see that in a similar aspect with AI in the very near future. We will see that we'll become quite dependent on it. Now, we like to look at every time we hit a problem or a challenge in business, that it is to become curious, become like scientists, create a hypothesis, and then find a solution to actually solve that particular problem. Now, with this, we put it to our team in May last year, 2023. We said, what if we could ramp up salespeople faster? And after a decade working with organizations in change management, one of the fastest things you can do with salespeople to ramp them up is to do role playing. But often role playing, people don't do it. So we said, what if we could teach the AI to role play with us? Let's have a little look at this one. This is last year. This is over a year ago.
Hi there, Alex. It's Matt from Real Play. Thanks for taking my call today. Just checking, we've got about 10 minutes together on this call.
That's an interesting question. Hi, Matt. It's great to meet you. It's nice to have this time to understand the potential of real.
Now, I'm actually doing a role play here. I've loaded up my sales presentation. I'm role playing with the AI. And then after that particular role play session, as we go backwards and forwards, the AI turns into a sales coach and coaches me on 6 key factors of sales. Gives me a scoring and tells me what I did well and what I can do to improve. Imagine this for how this can impact an individual for improvement by actually getting instantaneous feedback, something that often doesn't happen in role playing because we just don't have the resources around to help support people in their role play approach. Another problem we looked at solving, if we're thinking our garden hose, right, with all the little water dripping out of it or gushing out of it, was to say the interview process. We actually have anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000 people apply every week to join our people business. That's a lot of people that need to be interviewed. One of the challenges there is actually getting to all that beautiful, amazing talent to complete the interviews. And so often it can take time, and we've all experienced this, it takes time to actually hire great people. We've seen, however, the speed of hiring can change down to as low as 3 to 5 days when you're placing people even in technical roles because you can interview more people through the process. This particular AI tool actually does a full analysis in a way that we couldn't possibly enjoy consistently as a human. And so it helps to multiply the results of people that are doing recruitment. Here it is playing out. The AI actually is going to write the position description. The AI writes the questions to be asked as well as the answers to those questions. The AI will then post that job out online. The AI will interview the applicant via video. And then each of those results will then get analyzed. Let's actually have a look at the analysis in here.
How do you ensure that your product vision aligns with the overall business objectives and goals?
I love this question. This is one of the key things a product director must learn to do.
And from there, we get the full analysis. We can play on those videos. The AI shares it was an excellent answer, transcription, what went well, what could be could improve on. There's qualification scores, behavioral scores, personality profile. There's even international English language test standard testing there, so that the different bands that the IELTS program gives as well. And there's a, hey, thanks, Wen, how cool, which means you're more likely to secure the right staff if you're moving faster and making a job offer before another company. Speed is the first key piece here, right? So directly from LinkedIn, the applicant can go straight to the interview. So, and if we think about it, great people are working really, they're really busy working. Chances are that the time for them to have an interview is outside of work hours, which is generally when our recruitment teams are not working. So there's a bit of conflict going on there. The scheduling dance is a real challenge. So we see here now where AI starts to give us the power of time, quality, and reduced cost to be able to do this activity. Now, it's things like this where cost reduction becomes huge. In fact, if I just go to the hero moment here, when it comes to actually doing an interview, there's a 99% saving on being able to execute the interview. It's incredible how fast and accurate it can be done. Now, that's just the beginning of what's possible with AI. We've also seen how we can turn 6 to 8 hours of work into just minutes by utilizing something called AI agents. Now, an AI agent is an AI entity that does the work you do for you and can execute a range of different tasks that you guide it to. These AI agents can be put together in workflows or flows as a swarm of agents to help you execute the work. In this example, we've asked the AI to write us a blog article based on the latest research on the internet, and it's brought together a swarm of AI agents to execute those tasks for us. It'll even actually it'll do 2 to 3 hours of research in number of seconds. This shows 47 seconds. It's down to about 11 seconds now. It's really fast. And interestingly, the reason why it's gotten faster is that the AI models behind it have got better. I'm going to talk about this terminology in just a sec. It even writes the blog article, the article itself, an email to all the subscribers, the marketing assets like Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn posts as well. So it actually can do the core chunk of work for a marketer before they probably even finish their first coffee in the morning or even pour it. And in doing so, can remove procrastination because it absolutely propels people forward. And I think that's a very powerful thing about the tool of AI is that where at times we might feel overwhelmed with the amount of work that we've got to do, AI can step in as our teammate and support us to execute a portion of the work so that we can stay on the more creative, energetic, and connecting part of what work and what life is really about. Now, where else this goes, it continues on to, these are products that as organizations, we would say you could buy, but in other cases, you'll find that there'll be things that you might need to build within your organization as well. And a great example, I think, to share here over at GoTeam is that they're about to release, when it comes to helping organizations to build their offshore workforces, empowered by AI, they help with a strategic workforce plan. And so here you'll see these common pillars again: marketing, sales, product, service delivery, customer service. You might ask the question, or when a salesperson at GoTeam is talking with their clients, is saying, what sort of positions might you consider? Well, AI can start to generate the types of roles that are useful for taking offshore and start to help with that brainstorming process. In addition, it can help to do things like write the position descriptions in those particular roles. It can also write job competencies, skills, objectives, key results, KPIs, processes, and so forth. So it can go through here and write these things. And once again, this is just an example of what's possible. And if your organization goes into building custom solutions to help solve your own problems within your organization. So you can essentially scale faster, do it at lower cost and a higher level of quality than ever before. And so we can generate things like job competencies and skills. Make sure you do an example of that one. The AI will generate those. It actually wants me to jump through to the skills section. I'll come back to that one later. So from here, let's now have a look at where the future is going. Now, we're firm believers that everyone will end up with their own personal AI to support them in their work. And you'll start your position at work with your own AI on day one that is going to continue to learn about your role and help you do your work. Now, these will start out as just chat-based entities. We're doing this right now. You can now install your own AI that's specific for your role. You can create it on day one. You can feed it with the knowledge of your organization and ask it questions to help save on what is often a burden in most organizations, whereby we're asking lots of questions in hey, we've got a sound issue. Anyone else? Someone just said lost sound. Double check it sounds all good. Cool. We're often asking questions in our organizations that are the same questions on a regular basis. In fact, has anyone had that recently where someone's asked a question that was the same question that was asked multiple times? Pop a Y in the chat if you've had that. I asked the crew in the last session and everyone went, yes, 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 yes. Like every hour it occurs. Yeah, it happens a lot. And so what if we actually could ask the AI first to get the answer before we need to interrupt someone else? Because the McKinsey & Co shares that 19% of the week is spent on this one activity of asking questions internally, and we can reduce that. 19%, that's a whole day we spend on it. Now, here's an imagination of what the future looks like. This is coming this year with us. Hey, Rhea, who were the last 3 customers that purchased from us?
Hey, Matt. The last 3 customers were Jacob Winters, Heavenly Architecture, Sarah Allen, Oak Ridge Outdoors, Robert Masters, Better Built Homes.
Thanks, Rhea. How much did Better Built Homes spend, and how did they hear about us?
Hey, Matt. Better Built Homes spent $7,000. This is their first purchase and were referred by Randy Richard by Jacob Winters from Heavenly Architecture. Would you like me to draft a thank you email to Jacob?
Now, our CEO for our people business, my sister Fee, is on the call. So she's going to say to me right now, when can I have this, Matt? And the foundation for this is available through Rhea Pro, which is our no-code AI agent builder. And the future of voice is definitely coming to AI, and it's going to happen really soon. So these are the sorts of things that are going to become part of our daily lives, where we're interacting with our AI, both verbally as well as via chat, to support us in the work that we're doing. And Feast just said, game changer, saves so much time. He knows me well. Looking forward to being user number 1. Thank you. Yeah, it's going to be great. We're going to enjoy this one. Hey, Rhea. And so they're just a beginning of what's possible with AI. I think it's really useful now to slow down and talk about some of the building blocks and the fundamentals as a leader, not thinking about being a machine learning expert. I don't want to take you down that complexity, but I do believe it's important to have some new vocabulary so you can think about how problems can be solved. Because as leaders, that's your number 1 role. It's like, how do you solve the problems to help your team members to look at things differently? And so when you've got this vocabulary, it'll help you more. So what can AI do from a building block perspective? Well, first thing we can look at is something like speech to text. It can take our speech and it can transcribe it into text. Then you've got a text-to-text moment where you've done that with ChatGPT, you've chatted to it, text in, you've got text out. Another one is the text-to-speech. Like a moment ago, you heard the AI talking to me, and in that example there, it's in the background, it's got text that it's written, and it needs to convert that into the audio so that we can hear it. Now, the next one you've got is text and data analysis, because once text or that information goes into the AI, it needs to do something with it. That's the analysis part that it does, and it does it really well. Another one here to think about is your corporate data access, because when you use the AI, if it's just a large language model like a ChatGPT, it's not trained on your information. We want to keep that very separate as well for many good reasons. So we're going to need to be able to access the corporate data in a secure way through your AI so that you can get better usage of the information at hand. Then we've got something called a specifically trained model, where you can go into actually training a model that is fit for purpose, or you can access these. As an example, if you want to get into more financial data analysis, although we might use something like ChatGPT, there are other AI models that are more useful, like Bloomberg's model. In fact, this might be a little bit of a mind-blowing moment, but there's a lot more than ChatGPT out there. In fact, there are over 750,000 open source models available to utilize. And that was a screenshot I took at 5:19 this morning, local time here in the Philippines. And that number will have increased since then. And these models are available for businesses to utilize. Not so easy. You definitely need more technical prowess to access these ones. But it is an insight to just how fast this landscape is moving. Even if you're not aware of it, there's a lot happening in the AI world. Then we also need AI to actually take some actions for us. We want the AI to do more than just give us insights. We want it to be able to go off and do some tasks for us. Now, those actions are something we would call function calling, and this is where we enable the AI to actually come to life. We're going to give it arms and legs to be able to take action for us in a controlled way. And then there's vision. Vision is both when we're thinking about utilizing pictures as well as video as well to do analysis on what is happening in front of us. Now, for example, radiologists are using vision for assessing x-rays and doing a far more effective job than what the human is doing. So we get this moment where the human is able to multiply their results by utilizing the AI. And we keep the human in the loop. I'm going to explain human in the loop in a moment, but just so that the human is actually still overseeing the AI and its progress. Now let's get into some of the more terminology. There's just 2 pages of this. So first one is AI. Well, what is AI? Well, AI is the artificial intelligence, and it's the simulation of human intelligence processes by machines, enabling them to perform tasks that would typically require human intelligence. Now, where did I get my definition from today? I got my definition from, you guessed it, AI. I got the AI to write the definition, and then I had it reduce the definition down to just a single sentence to make it easier to consume. Now, we're going to give everyone a copy of the slide deck today so that you'll have this terminology available to you. We'll make sure that one's packaged up and sent to you either during the session or certainly afterwards with a copy of the video as well. Now, a subset of this is actually machine learning. It's a subset of artificial intelligence. And this actually focuses on the algorithm so that the machine can continue learning from the interactions that we're having. Then there's a model. We'll use the word model regularly. So ChatGPT 3.5 or 4.0, they are models. They are AI models specifically around generative AI. And it's actually representing an overall system or process or concept. Now, we're progressing from these things like text models to new models called world models, where it's bringing in vision. If anyone's seen OpenAI's Sora that generates video, that's a world model because it now actually needs to take into consideration things like physics to be able to get these incredible 3D scenes that look like they're being shot by cinematographers. We've then got the concept here, these words, large language model or LLM for short. And the large language model is a type of artificial intelligence model that can understand and generate human language by analyzing and learning a vast amount of textual language. This is what we're using a lot now. It's really has been the shield breaker. It's pierced through to be able to allow most people to access and understand AI in a different way because its utility, its usefulness is so high. And then if anyone's had that experience though with ChatGPT, the first part is wonder and amazement. And then shortly after that, people can kind of go, oh, look, it doesn't work as well as it used to. And usually that comes from the fact that we're not asking the right questions yet. And I often look at the use of artificial intelligence as just like the utilizing human intelligence. We need to ask the right questions to get the results that we desire. So the art of prompt engineering has come forward, or doing what we do now is actually we use the AI to write the instructions for the AI to get the most out of the AI. It's a little inception level. Where we're actually using something called AI agents, which I'll come to in a sec. Now, ChatGPT, it's our state-of-the-art language model that's developed by OpenAI. It's really, the key here is that there's an interface that allows us to interact with that language model, making it available for every user too. It's really incredible. AI agents now is the next evolution of this. And an AI agent is a program or system that acts on behalf of a user utilizing artificial intelligence to perform tasks, make decisions, and provide information. I like to say this one is the AI agent is an AI entity that does the work you do for you. And they are only going to get better and better and better and better. And mastering the art of building AI agents is something that we call flow engineering. And I'll talk more about that as one of the 4 roles that all businesses actually need to have now to prepare and take advantage of this time. Now, there's a technical three words here: retrieval augmented generation. I'm not going to get any more technical than this one today, I promise you. But retrieval augmented generation, or RAG for short, is the process that we use in order to access business information and combine it with the large language models to give you accurate outcomes on your specific data. Retrieval augmented generation will be a foundationary approach and a building block in order to be extremely useful within your organizations. Now, you don't have to go off and build this. This is available within tools, certainly in all the tools that we create. It's a foundational piece. The concept, though, is understanding that it is possible to be able to securely and safely and accurately reference data from within your organization and have the AI do an assessment on it provide the insights and the updates, just what you need in order to get the results out that make sense or actually are more useful. Then the final one here for today in definitions is human in the loop. Now, the human in the loop process, it really refers to this. I'll do the diagram for this one, is that we have input into our AI models like GPT 4.0 or ChatGPT 3.5 and so forth, and that from that, there'll be some form of output. And if we are happy or confident with that output, we will accept it. But if we're not, we need to interact with it. And that interaction can be as simple as re-asking a question in order to get the output, all the way through to some advanced concepts in machine learning where we're going to annotate the data responses and actually train the models to get more intelligent, become more intelligent. In fact, all these big models that we see out there have got aspects of human in the loop training in addition to the actual machine training that goes on as well. So this starts to give us some ideas of what's possible with different types of AI tools. It also gives us some ideas on some terminology that become our building blocks. That now presents us at a time to start getting to thinking about, so what's our plan? How are we going to implement this? And what would an AI strategic roadmap look like within our organizations? Well, I'd like to turn to some great work by CEO Coaching International. In fact, our business coaches, CEO Coaching International, have come up with a really neat strategic framework that covers 4 quadrants. And it allows us to start to think about things like, with AI, will I build or will I buy? So will we create it or will we buy it? And then a really important question is, how ready is our data? Because the artificial intelligence needs to look at our business data in order to be able to be useful within our organizations. And can we access it? Is our data neatly stored in cloud-based software systems? Or is it a little bit all over the place with spreadsheets and documents, maybe some on Google Drive and some on Microsoft Office and some in other systems and some still just written down on paper, right? Okay, generally that is the reality. Our data is everywhere. So there's an opportunity to actually get our data ready so that the AI can consume it. And then when we're making a strategic plan, are we looking at improving things like our areas of customer and quality and experience? Is it about driving profit? Is it about driving revenue? Is it about creating new products that we can sell? Or is there a whole other category that we're looking to focus on? It's really useful to understand what's happening in your organization right now. Do you have a big drive for growth, for revenue? Or do you have a big drive for profit to reduce costs? Or do you have a big drive to delight customers? Or are you in the product development phase? Or there are other sections in the business in our garden hose that need attention? Now, if just for fun, if you were to pick one of these areas of revenue, cost, customer, product, or other, which one would you like to focus on in your role at work today? Just pop that word in the chat so I can get a little bit of an insight. Customer, product, revenue. Izza says revenue, Din for revenue. Chris has got product, Fee's got customer, Richard's got revenue, Trevor's got product, right? We'll all be at different stages in our businesses this week compared to next week, or this year compared to next year. And so with that, we'll constantly be looking at where are the areas we can improve. Now, as we start to come up with ideas of where AI can assist us, we can plot those ideas into these 4 quadrants. On the left-hand axis, we've got here business value. So this is dollars and differentiation from an impact perspective. It's either going to be low or high, low impact or high impact when it comes to business value. Then on the next axis, so we've got here the actual ease of implementation around things like time and the complexity to implement, and then the adoption of users as well. That could either be really fast and immediate, all the way through to medium term, which we might say is 1 to 1.5 years, all the way through to high cost of and time of implementation, which is around 3 to 5 years. Once you get out to 5 years, I'd say at that point in time, it's no longer even worth thinking about it, because there'll be so much change coming in the next 18 months. Things that you might have been thinking that are 3 years away are probably only 18 months away with what will become possible. Now from here, when we look at value, if it's good value, so if it's something that's useful to do and we can do it quickly, we could start today. If it's high value and it's only going to take a short period of time, do it now. This is the one to jump on and start walking the talk and getting some action. I'm going to share some ideas around GoTeam strategic AI strategic roadmap so you can get some inspiration. Then when we've got things like high value, but it's going to take us some time to get there, do it later. Come back here onto this first quadrant, focus on it in order to get the impact. And then if it's not high value and it's going to take a long time, then not now. Don't suck it into that bright, shiny object. Now, as you get your ideas out, it's very useful to use this naming convention nomenclature here and the different shapes so that we can stand out. Is it revenue, customer, cost, product, or other? And from there, you can also look at things like, should we buy or should we build? So when we've got the particular item on there, so for an example, it might be improving the interview process. So interviews, we saw that before. That one would fit into other because it fits in HR. When it comes to do we buy or build, well, it's available to buy. So it would have a non-dotted or a fixed line around it. And then the data readiness, is the data ready for it? If it's yes, great. High value, do it now is an action point there. Or something like if it's around content marketing to drive lead generation and an AI agent can do that, it's something that is, you can buy it off the shelf. So it sits up here with a thick line around it and it's ready now. So you would go and take action around that. And so for us as leaders, it's about brainstorming with our teams around these different ideas that we could come up with. Now I'm going to take us back to, and here's another example here too. We can actually give everyone their own AI agent with their knowledge. And that's really fast to do, to give that access, and is something that we combine a couple of tools to make that work. Now, for this, we go back to our garden hose analogy again. Remember that one from earlier, where I said we've got our different sections of the business, and we can start brainstorming out our different ideas for each section, or whether it's marketing, sales, service delivery, operations, IT, finance, human resources, whichever of those departments you've got and more, to start actually doing a brainstorming activity with team members. Hey, what are some of the things that we could do? Now, it's really important in your change management process to go and have a brainstorming session with your leaders and frontline team members to understand where everyone's at, remove some of the fear, and share some of these ideas. Now, it's very much, I would say, the role of the chief AI officer to be driving this initially in the organization. But everyone can take on this particular activity. I'm going to share with you more about how to do that as we get through to the end of the session today. And with this, you can simply break this down. Now, I'll go back to this one. Remembering that 19% of the week is spent on asking those internal questions, it's pretty useful to even use the AI to actually brainstorm with you to come up some of these ideas. So you can use your AI agents to support you. This is the way you can lay this out, though. You can say, hey, for each of your departments, it's really useful to write at the top what is the main goal and then what your core challenges are. So before you start asking, where should we use AI, start with what is the main goal for our business unit and what are the challenges we're currently facing. Get that leaky hose analogy in there so we can start having people thinking about what could we do to improve. Right. Now that we're focused on what we can do, what we would like to improve, now we've got a zone to start thinking about how could AI help us? How could those building blocks that we discussed earlier be useful? And then from there, you can start to come up with the ideas and start to think, do we build? Do we buy? What are the tools that are available to support us? Now, every time we hit one of these particular items, it's useful to run it through a number of questions as a bit of a filter. And we have 9 key questions that I believe all leaders need to be asking around their AI strategies. The first one is that example of, what's the business area? Is it customer? Is it revenue? If it's a profit, is it product, or is it other? Where does it sit? Now, I've got an example up here, increase speed to hire top quality candidates. So this is one that we ran our lens over, and it sits in other because it's in HR. Is this a today versus a tomorrow activity? What is the process today versus what we'd like it to be in the future, or the short term or long term? And we want to look for bottlenecks here. For us, it's hiring top talent in less than 30 days versus 45 or 60 days. And then what is the financial impact of that change? In the Go Team world, for any organization, saving tens of thousands of dollars is the impact. And what's the dollar cost of that change? Look, it can be as low as $200 to achieve a change like that. So that starts to say, okay, that's a big impact for AI. What are the risks of not changing? Are they low, medium, high, or extreme? You could say when it comes to having top talent in your organization that the risk is actually very high and in its impact of things like opportunity cost and the impact on growth. Then when it comes to build versus buy, for most organizations, it will make sense to buy versus go and build because it would cost too much money to actually build a tool like this. So you go and look for a tool that's going to help you to deliver that result. How complex is the change itself or adoption? Tools like this are really, really low in complexity to change. And then does the business case stack up? You might need to make that question and really be able to say, yes, it does, before you move on. Otherwise, the risk is you can have all of these ideas, but you get distracted by the latest tool versus saying, is this fit for purpose? Is this actually a fundamentally sound business case? And that is something that it's worthy of having a person in the organization that will really test against this. And that's why I talk about the Chief AI Officer's role to do that. And then how ready is your data in the organization to be able to make that change? These are the 9 key questions that we really need to ask as we're evaluating. Now, once you've come up with your plan, you've got your different departments filled out with all the different ideas, and you start to prioritize what you'll do next. The next thing to do is actually run an implementation plan. Now, the structure that we like to use is this. It's discover, design, deploy, educate, execute, and evaluate. And this is a continuous cycle. And if you've got a big implementation, then you could roll this out over a 90-day plan, and you could invest 1 week on each activity, noting that in most cases, people have got their day jobs and they're implementing AI. So could week 1, discover, actually understand the problem that you're looking to solve. Week 2, design out how the AI will be utilized. Now that could be the different tools that might be used, or if you're using AI agents, that you create those agents. Then we've got deploy, so actually get that into production, do a test first so you can see the outcomes yourself. And then from there, educate. Who are the users that are going to need to use this new AI tool? Make sure they understand, create the documentation to support them and so forth. And then go into an execution phase. And as you're executing each week, you need to look and test and measure that progress. And then when you get to the end of your 90-day plan or 13 weeks, do an evaluation and report out session. We really firmly believe in the quarterly report out session. There's often beautiful wins that are happening in the organization, and others need to learn about the work that's going on. Now, you don't need to make this 90 days. In fact, in the world that we're moving at, it's happening so fast. There's a lot of things that you can do in just 5 days. So you can go through this whole cycle in just 5 days. And for any of those that are already in play as flow engineers working with our AI agent platform, they'll see this come to life. In some cases, even within 45 minutes. So you can go through getting through the first phases very, very quickly. Now, I will say that with all of this AI, ladies and gentlemen, this is a marathon. It is not a sprint in this race, because we're going to be taking on this constant improvement path. And there's an old adage that I really love that I think always rings true. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And with that go together part is that we really need to build out a team. Now, in the old approach years ago, this would be about bringing in data scientists, machine learning experts, your software developers in order to make this happen. But in reality today, that game has changed. And there are just 4 new roles to consider in business that don't require machine learning expertise in order to be able to rapidly impact and take your business forward. Now, as Jim Collins says, he says, first who and then what. And so first, who are the people that are going to have either upskilled in your organization or brought in to assist you, and upskilled as well, because this is such a new space. And then what is it that they're going to achieve? And so here's the structure that I think we will all benefit by. And that is that all organizations today, whether you're 5 or 500 or 5,000 or greater, someone needs to take on the role of the chief AI officer. It doesn't mean that you need to have had a machine learning background, although I will say that when you go and start to study this area more, it will make a big impact. I know I went and got started on my machine learning data science course through MIT about a year and a half ago, and I'm a dropout. But what I took was the base learning that has made it fundamentally useful to actually apply AI in our roles. And so there are some fundamentals there that are worthy of going deeper on, and when you get those in place, it will rapidly move organizations forward. This is very much about looking at reviewing the business and improving processes and understanding where we can apply AI. Someone needs to take on that role. Now, it's either someone inside the organization who's a little bit tech savvy and very invested in wanting to see process improvements occur. That's a good zone for the chief AI officer. The next role is the AI implementation engineer. Now, that is someone with a technical background. They're going to be starting to look at things like connecting business systems via APIs, via your application program interfaces, connecting these systems together, making sure that that data is flowing the way that it needs to. The third role is a flow engineer. Now, a flow engineer is an individual who are creating AI agents. Now, previously, that needed to be a software developer, but today, thanks to our Raya Pro platform, that is a no-code AI agent builder. A flow engineer doesn't need to have coding skills. Now, I firmly believe that everyone will end up becoming a flow engineer, at least at like a level 1 certification, to be able to build out their own AI agents in their roles. And then they'll end up being higher levels of certification with more complexity as time goes on. The other role that you'll start to see is the AI implementation consultant. There's someone who's going to further help the chief AI officer, the AI implementation engineer, and the flow engineers to further improve the quality or the overall design of what they're doing. Now, we're certainly going to need to be building out a team with these skill sets, as well as constantly upskilling. If you're at the point where you would like to have some team members to help you with this, or any other role in your organization, we can certainly help you at GoTeam. You can book a call with us. You can either, or get nice if you could pop that link in the chat for anyone who's interested in learning more about how to build an AI-powered team offshore. Our team at GoTeam would love to help you with building out that team, whether it's in these roles like Chief AI Officer, Flow Engineer, AI Implementation Engineer, or any role, marketing, sales, product service delivery, customer service, finance, IT, all of it. The team can be built out of the Philippines, generally about 60 to 70% saving than what we see in USA and Australia or UK. Now, upskilling. How do we get upskilled in AI? There's two avenues that for you to have a look at here. One is around flow engineering, where on every Friday we have our Flow Friday sessions that you can come and access, or our upcoming Chief AI Officer 90-day implementation bootcamp. So Flow Fridays, they happen over on our YouTube channel and on Zoom. You can register those via and nice, I'll get you to put these links in for everyone as well, please. You can register over at multiply.tech/flow-friday, spelt with the AI, for Flow Fridays, where we'll take you through sort of a 45-50 minute session on flow engineering. You can build out, you follow me in a copy and paste style approach as you build out AI agents to support you in your organizations and your work. That'll be continuing probably forever, because this area is constantly improving, and the agents are getting smarter with more skills, and we'll start to go into some exciting and complex areas. Now, over on our YouTube channel, do head over on there. It's called AI Powered People. There's a whole range of additional videos that'll help you in your organizations. Our goal there is to help you to understand how to apply AI at work, so you can leverage, and that's free. Everyone can access. Both of these have got no cost to subscribe to them. We'd love you to get in there and for your entire organization to start leveling up their AI game. Now, for those that are interested in seeing the Chief AI Officer role come to life in your organizations, starting in August, we have our first of our 90-day implementation boot camps. Now, these are a live 2-hour session workshop every week, plus practical work plans to go and implement in your organizations. We'll also have a community and online campus to access and available there. And every Chief AI Officer will get their own personal AI assistant to support them through the 90-day program as well. Also, during this period, there'll be a special access to all of the Multiply Tech products, and as well as any early access features during that time of the bootcamp itself. Now, by the end of that 90-day period, the Chief AI Officer will leave with practical implementations across marketing, sales, customer service, operations, IT, finance, and HR. And they'll have personal AI living on the desktops and to support everyone in their roles. Be able to confidently run the AI strategic roadmap planning sessions inside the organization. After over a decade of facilitating professionally and consulting, I'm going to give you all my tips on how to get the best out of your team members and your organizations in this process. Also running agile implementations so that you can really quickly iterate these changes. Rather than being 90 days, let's get these down to 5 or much short, nice and short implementations. Also learn about overcoming the challenges that you will face during change and being able to apply a process that reduces those challenges. It will take your organization to becoming an AI intelligent organization. Like, it will be where people are talking about AI, they're applying AI, and they're using AI on a daily basis. And we'll share with you all the ways to actually work with the foundations of that data as well. You also get to connect business systems to real-time data during those sessions also. And we'll be building out AI agents and voice agents, even to make sales calls and customer service calls will all happen by the end of the 90-day period. So if you're interested in this one, it is by application. It isn't just open for anyone to attend. You do need to apply. All you need to do is email me, matt@multiply.tech. We can pop my email address in the chat as well. The sessions will be, and I think question there, is the intake the class time? Yeah, so the class time will start to be every week. So for Australia, 7 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays. The initial one will kick off on the 6th of August and go for the 13 weeks. If it's in the United States on Eastern, the time there is 5th of August or 7 p.m. Eastern. How often will we have the intakes for the 90 days? I was only having that conversation internally just before this session. It could be that we'll do it. It could happen sort of once a month. We'll do an intake. I've got to be careful how much it layers up to ensure that we can give everyone the time that they deserve and help them through it. The cost, if you send through the application, if you're interested, send me an email. We'll jump on a call. We'll have a chat. I want to get to know about your business and understand your business first so that we can see if we can provide value. It's really important for us. And then we can talk all about pricing. And for Go Team clients, there's going to be a special offer for them. We also want you to be able to not necessarily do this alone. And if you'd like to bring someone along to help support you,